Module 6. Barricade, Lockdown, and Use of Hard Corners. The purpose of a lockdown is to understand how you can best secure in place if that is your best response option. The ultimate goal is to deny the intruders access to the room or structure where you have secured in place. At the very least, you want to slow down, deter, and distract the intruder from direct contact with you and those who may be with you. Research of active shooter events have revealed some consistencies. One of the most noteworthy is that assailants have repeatedly bypassed or made unsuccessful attempts to breach locked classroom doors. In some cases, intruders were successful either by shooting the door locks and or using physical force to breach the door. This is why barricading is a necessity if locking down is your best response option. In cases where locked doors were breached, the results were tragic. In some cases where the doors were disabled but were reinforced with barricading materials, injuries were mitigated and or the intruder moved on to a target with less resistance. How you barricade your doorway is very important. In cases where people used their bodies to barricade doors, it often met with tragic results. This is why barricade training is important and should be reinforced in school-based drills monthly. Barricading is about creating time and distance and is effective regardless of whether the door swings inward or outward. Barricading accomplishes the following: distance between potential victims and the attacker, distraction for the attacker's focus, deterrence for the attacker to go elsewhere, time for law enforcement to engage threat. Building occupants can barricade rooms with or without doors, with or without locks, or even hallways and passageways if the situation dictates the need. If locking down and barricading is the best option, you will begin by creating a barricade as quickly as effectively as you can by using any available objects nearby. These objects may include desks, bookcases, other furniture, or chairs. We recommend only using objects for the barricade. We do not recommend a person holding the door and being the object of the barricade. You should be able to build an effective barricade in less than 2 minutes. You should plan ahead and coordinate these tasks among those in your class. Drills are a great time to practice your plan. 1. Cover the windows and close the blinds. 2. Turn off the lights. 3. Begin with the largest, bulkiest, and heaviest object first. 4. Pre-stage furniture that could be effective for barricading near the door. If not equipped with wheels, you might opt to place sliders under the corners to make the furniture easier to move. 5. Add additional furniture on top and around the barricade to make it stronger. Think about desks, chairs, cabinets, or any large objects. 6. Get low on the floor and pick up objects that can be thrown at an intruder as a distraction if they make it inside. 7. Get in the safest hardened space within the room.
These safer hardened spaces are sometimes referred to as hard corners, but they will not always be in a corner. The hard corner is part of a classroom or other school space that cannot be observed from outside of the room when the door is closed. This is the portion or portions of a room that keep you out of the line of sight of a potential intruder on the outside by minimizing your exposure to doors and windows. Safer spaces can be located anywhere within a room, and there can be several within a single room. We want to try and avoid clustering together in large groups unless the design of the room and availability of safer spaces is very limited and there is no other choice.
The safest space should be someplace in the room near a solid wall, brick construction, or at very least does not expose you to a door or window. Cabinets, bookshelves, and electronics often obstruct the area of the classrooms that are out of the line of sight and could be used as a hard corner. These areas should not be cluttered with furniture, boxes, or other storage that would prevent you from using the space in an emergency.
There may not be a hard corner in every room. Evacuation may be the best option in some spaces. However, if evacuation is not possible, we must try to improvise until escape is possible. If you can't find a safe space because there are a lot of windows or doors in the room, you can use furniture, backpacks, books to create a safer space to hide behind. Turn large tables and desks on their side facing the door and pile backpacks and books in front of the tables. Get low and get quiet. This should be done after you've locked down and barricaded your room.
Next, begin looking for alternative exits, such as another door or window, should the violent intruder get inside your room. If a violent intruder comes close to your location, attempts to gain entry, if you can see the intruder, or if there are injured in your room, you should call 911 to help direct law enforcement to engage the threat more quickly.
Discuss your classroom's safest space with your teachers, corporal, or school safety guard. Together, we can be better informed and prepared on the ABCs of school safety. Remember to take safety drills seriously and always report safety concerns to a responsible adult.
As with our current policy, do not respond to a fire alarm unless you see smoke or flames. Here are some tips for setting up classrooms to safeguard against an active assailant. Arrange furniture to create a pathway into the class. Any obstacle that an intruder would have to work around to accomplish their mission helps you. Remember, the goal is to delay and deter. While setting up your classroom, it is critically important to assess the overall environment of the room and determine the ways you can quickly and effectively barricade the room. Every classroom is different, with various furniture and workspace applications. Discuss this with your students now, assign jobs, and of course, drill, drill, drill. Instructional staff should place their natural teaching position as far from the door as possible. This gives you more time to react should an incident occur. The farther you are from the intruder, the more difficult of a target you become. In some cases, fixed features in a room can prevent this design idea.